Okay, and you are live.
Welcome, everyone. Calling to order the December meeting of the Snow Library Board of Trustees. This meeting is being recorded and it's available on the Orleans Channel 18 YouTube. If anyone is planning to record it, they should inform me of that intent. So I think the first thing is there any public comment? And I'm not seeing any public comment, so we'll move right along to approval of the minutes. We have two sets of minutes to approve. First is the minutes from the August meeting. I hope everyone has had a chance to review those. Are there any
Steve,
edits?
it's Joan. Can I ask people just to put their stuff on mute? Because we're hearing like random noises until you speak. It's really hard to hear.
Ooh, I'm not having
Mr. Chair,
trouble.
just one minor edit on the attendees where you've got others present. This is on the August 11th set. Elaine Baird's last name is B-A-I-R-D.
Okay. Noted. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Would someone like to make a motion to accept the August minutes?
So move.
Second,
Second.
Mal seconds, or Mary seconds, either one. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Looks like unanimous. Thank you. Moving on to the November minutes. Any edits that anyone might have to the November minutes? Not seeing any edits. Would someone like to make a motion to approve? Mal is making a motion. Jan, you're seconding.
Sure.
Thank you. All those in favor of accepting the November minutes? Aye, all right, and no opposed. Again, it's unanimous. Thank you. Moving on to the chair's report. I have a few things to report to you. First, I attended the Mass Library Trustees annual meeting in mid-November. The theme was recruiting a diverse board, excuse me. The presenter was Sally Reed, who was formerly the CEO of United for Libraries. United for Libraries is an advocacy unit within the American Library Association that works with all types of libraries to help promote them and network them, etc. She talked about strategies for creating and sustaining more diverse boards, taking advantage of leads library staff might have, reaching out to younger church organizations, to young business owners, etc. So it was useful to hear all this, and somewhat timely in that, as we're all aware, 3 of you will be terming off next June. So we need to be thinking about recruiting 3 new board members for next town election. I know I've worked a little bit with Joan on this. We've identified at least a couple of people that I've been in touch with that sound interested potentially in running for it. And we're still actively looking for at least a third person. So if you have any thoughts or suggestions on people you think might be good board members, if you could send me an email sometime in the next few weeks, or you want to talk to me about them, I'd be interested to identify people. I also reached out as part of this effort to George Maservi to get kind of an up-to-date handle on the town demographics, thinking we'd want to be diverse, but there was no surprise in those demographics in that, we are a older community as such, but I think trying to identify maybe a younger parent, potentially for the board seems to me would be healthy. And maybe if we could identify maybe another male to be on the board as well, that would be useful in terms of diversity as such. So again, if you have any thoughts on that, please let me know. I think the deadline for filing for running for office is not until late March, I believe. Although there's a bunch, as you all know, there's a bunch of work involved in soliciting signatures for your nomination form, which does take some time and is particularly challenging in our COVID times. The second item I have to share is the town is going through its annual process of ensuring that everybody has the proper sign-offs and training as it relates to conflict of interest. So I've confirmed this with Tavi as well. Everybody needs to go through the training again. So in the next day or so, I'll forward you the instructions of what you need to do. There's actually two things that are required. There's a form that you'll need to print out and actually sign and then somehow get it over to the contact that's in the email. But then there's also the training itself, which is, as you will, some of you will remember, is online training that I think it takes, I don't know, less than an hour, to kind of go through it and to, quote, pass the test. The deadline for getting all that done is, and this is not a joke, April 1st. So there's still plenty of time. And as I say, I will follow up within the next day or two with all the necessary info that you need to be able to meet those requirements. And my last item is I've also received an email from the town asking for the annual report from me as chair of the trustees that covers 2020. That report will be due January 4th. So these reports they're asked to be short, no more than a page or so. So it's really just highlights of the year. So if you have any thoughts about what you would like to suggest be included in my report, feel free to send me a short email, with anything that you have in it. I haven't started drafting it yet, but it'll cover, what I think are the major highlights, obviously including, the response to the COVID pandemic, which kind of dominated things for this year, but other things that we were able to accomplish as well, including, the new website and other stuff. And I think that's the end of, and once I have that report submitted, I'll share it with you all as well. Any comments or questions about my report? Okay, moving right along then would be the financial report. I don't see Carolyn on the call, so Tavi, if you would walk us through that, I would appreciate it.
Yep, sure. On the report under town salaries, expenditures for November, $36,998.57. Under town operating expenses, year-to-date expenditures, $61,550.57. And it says here that includes $13,767.73. Now, last month, you may have remembered it was 27,000. This number is actually half of that. And the reason is because that whole 27,000 was the Clams membership for Orleans Library to belong to Clams. So we paid half of that bill. And so now we have the other half encumbered. And when we get the next bill from Clams, we'll pay that one. Under Friends, expenditures for November, $641.67 for financial publications, the copier, the business connection, internet, and water. And under Friends programming, $113.24 were spent on children's program supplies for November. And then down under the revolving funds, under November expenditures, $142.42 for those brochures on the open browsing hours. Under contributions, under deposits, we received $120 in general contributions. That was an aggregate of 2. And then finally, on the bottom, trust funds, under expenditures, $110.52 from the Helen Telfair Fund, and that was for website maintenance. And then under deposits, $1,000, which is the estimated interest for November.
Any questions for Tavi? Great. Thank you, Tavi. Again, I think it goes, you're still on, Tavi, now with your director's report.
Okay, thank you. The bit of information that's not in my report, because it's changed since I wrote the report, is that I'm going to be sending an email right after this meeting to Town Administrator John Kelly, requesting that we temporarily suspend the open browsing hours in the interest of community safety, both for our patrons and the staff and their families. Beginning on Saturday, December 12th, I'm asking for approval to temporarily suspend offering open browsing hours and provide curbside service only for the following 4 reasons. The first is the coronavirus case surges, both nationally and locally, the anticipated holiday travel and the gathering together that's expected despite the travel bans, an expected increase of visitors to the Cape, some not following quarantine guidelines from other states for the holiday season. And then finally, of the 37 libraries in Clams, 21 of them have already either reverted to offering curbside service only, or they've never actually initiated open browsing hours at all. So my plan is to reevaluate the situation in mid-January in coordination with the other Cape libraries, and to decide when it's safe to resume the open browsing hours according to that schedule. The other parts of my report, we have a new reference librarian officially, Betty Steele Jeffers, who was the former substitute reference librarian and was also the reference librarian for many years before, is the new permanent reference librarian. She's replacing Linda Huntington, who retired after 6 successful years in the position. Betty is the internal candidate. She has 23 years of experience working at circulation, reference, and interlibrary loan. And additionally, she has been substituting for Linda Huntington upon her leaving on October 17th. So the transition was very smooth and seamless. Regarding the board secretary position, I'm currently still interviewing candidates, and there were numerous applicants for the position, and I'm working on narrowing it down to hopefully 2 finalists. And barring any difficulties, I hope to have a selection made and to present to the town administrator, John Kelly, at the end of the month. Progress on the Susan Kelly Memorial Bench. I'm gathering together information on the different types of materials and the costs. And once I get that information, I'm going to present that to Nathan Kelly, who is Susan Kelly's son. And then they can make a selection depending on how much money the family is willing to spend. And the only other thing I wanted to mention is that I did receive an email saying that the FY22 action plan that the trustees approved last month was approved by the Board of Library Commissioners. Amy Clayton emailed me and said that the action plan was approved and it was fine. And then regarding the holiday hours, which I mentioned in my report, that's actually on the agenda under new business. So I'll bring that up then. Let me just give you some highlights from Ann's report. Everything we're doing now is with kits. Everything's in kits and bags, unfortunately, because of the pandemic. So Ann has put together story time in a bag so that instead of doing the story time, this kit is going to consist of books, a song suggestion, and supplies for the craft. Only the books need to be returned, checked out and returned. And she's also made a short video along with Jamie Forster, and that the link is included in this kit to the YouTube video. And she's checked out 3 of the 4 kits, and she's going to be making more because they're very successful. And every year, you might remember in early December, we always have the gingerbread house building workshop, and that's always very successful. It's usually packed. And, unfortunately, it's one of those craft programs that really is supposed to be done in person. But since we can't this year, Ann is making up kits so that you sign up, and they're actually putting together the kits tomorrow. They're starting to put them together so that it's a supply to make your own gingerbread house kit. And there are 40 children so far that are signed up, and we still have a little ways to go. So I imagine there's probably going to be more. And it's usually about the number that attend every year the gingerbread making workshop. Ann has also put together self-care stress relief kits. And the other libraries in the area are doing it as well. And Ann's basically she was having Zoom meetings with the other youth services librarians putting these together. And so they contain various different things, flyers about stress relief, yoga, nature walks, face mask recipes, a stress ball, tea, chocolate, handmade soap, a kit on handmade soap. And that is expected to be very popular as well. And then finally, even though we're not doing a lot of decorating this year, especially now because of the phasing backwards that a lot of the libraries are doing, Betty, the new reference librarian, has decorated the display case that's right near the children's area. And you can see it's got all sorts of festive displays for the holidays. So at least have that, and it's already gotten a lot of positive comments. And that's my report.
Questions for Tavi?
Steve, could I just add kind of to Tavi, your opening comment about revising to curbside only? I just want to say, I don't know how many folks do follow the governor's press conferences. He's held one yesterday. I suspect he'll be holding one each day because of the increase in the numbers as a result of, let's say, those people that really were not following best practices as a result of Thanksgiving. And Tavi, you're doing absolutely the right thing. As of, I believe, Sunday, the governor and lieutenant governor announced the rollback, if you will, of phase 3, what's called step 2, back to step 1. So although I think within those guidance, you could limit yourself to 40% occupancy, I think it's prudent to be safer than that, and compliments to you for doing it in a coordinated way.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would agree. It's sad. It was nice to be in the library browsing the other day. But I agree. It seems the prudent thing to do for the safety of staff and the community.
It's just temporary. I mean, we'll return it again to it. So.
Any other comments or questions? Thank you, Tavi.
Thank you.
I believe next is over to Phil Sirachi for the Friends Report. Welcome, Phil.
Thanks, Steve. And it's a interesting bag during COVID for the Friends and the library. We had over $1,018 in Saturday book sales, which is up $300 from last year, and it was all held outside. What it showed is that in the beginning of November, that there was a pent-up demand for the book sale, and just shows what can be done later on. Through November itself, we had actually $10,900 profit, and that was mainly due to membership. But membership was a lot of it last year was done in the year before. We do have more members, which is nice through COVID. People came in, and we actually have more members than we had last year. And the other highlight is, of course, is lifetime learning, which has been all on Zoom, and it's been really a success. Hats off should be to Ellen Burley and Don Willett and Tim Coonahan, because all three of them have done an outstanding job. And any of you that have attended those know they really do a great job. And they have a new program coming up in the next season, and it's coming together very nice. One of the main reasons we did have the profit was that we have not had expenses. It's mainly in the periodicals, subscriptions, and children's programs. But a lot of it has just come through, and I paid a lot of bills on a Monday. We had an annual meeting that you've heard about for the last couple meetings that I've read the notes. We had about 35 people on Zoom. Not too many, but Tracy Sally, our president, runs a really good meeting. And she got the meeting over in about an hour. And normally these times, as you know, the other rest of the time is with wine and cheese and crackers and things. But this year, if you had it at home, that's where you had it. One interesting thing that we have done this past month is that you've all been hearing about socially responsible investing and ESG, which is environment, social, and governance. This is where you place your investments into these socially responsible stocks, and also in bonds and other things. I read this morning, even the Pope is involved with this now. He has an investment team, and the papacy is now going into socially responsible investing. We started this last January, and one of the reasons we did was we felt that if we could present ourselves as a library that is socially responsible to the people that we're going to ask to help fund the new library, that we would be a step up in our interest to them. So we've really started going at it. And the investment team, working with Cape Cod 5, gave a presentation to the board, and they passed it. And we're going to invest 25%, only 25% to begin with, to see how our SRIs, investment, socially responsible investments, work out. And we're hoping that they do. Their numbers say they work out at equal or better than what we're presently doing. And we're excited about it. And we think that we can present something each month that would be very acceptable to a lot of people in the town. And going forward, we think it's very important. And do you have any questions?
No questions for Phil?
Good.
Well, thank you, Phil. Thank you for your perseverance getting on the call, Phil. And
Well, you got to
also,
do it sometimes. I've been on these before. I know there's a way.
and I know I think Jan, I know you were there too at the
Mhm.
annual meeting
And Mal.
last week. I don't know if anyone else was there. Mal, you were there? Yeah, that's right. And Tavi as well. And it was a very well-run meeting. And congratulations to the Friends for pulling that off so well. And just as you say, the kudos to everybody involved with the lifelong learning program. It's been really a tremendous asset for the town and the greater community this last fall. So it's excellent, and I'm glad. I know they're hard at work already with, I think, beginning in early February. Is that right, Phil?
Yes, February 1st to the end of April.
Right. That's great. Okay, moving right along. Next up, under other reports, we had scheduled a vote for the membership of the FAC Facilities Advisory Committee. So since we met last, I've been in touch with various people, and what I'd like to suggest, or I guess I can make a motion as the chair, right? I'd like to move that we accept the membership of the committee as is, with only one change, and that would be that I will take over the role of chair for now, and Cheryl will just become a regular member of the committee. So just to refresh everybody's memory, the current membership of the FAC in no particular order is Steve Bormeyer, Cheryl O'Brien, Mary Beth Fink, Steve Gass, Kaimi Lam, Tavi Prugno, Mary Rulin, Pam Ritchie, and Elia Marnick. I've thought a lot about this. I thought about maybe asking a few people to drop off since we were kind of going into a kind of a low work mode. But then after talking to people and their interest in it and continuing, I didn't see any advantage to really altering things at this point. As we've discussed earlier, our workload will be rather low during this current year. I only anticipate one meeting in sometime in the new year. And so, and we did discuss already that we would kind of revisit the longer term membership next summer after we elect 3 new board members. So my motion is to accept the membership as is, with as I said, the only change would be I will take over the role of chair of the committee.
Second motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Not seeing any discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Joan, I can't see you. So.
Hi, and I'm having Zoom issues, sorry. Hi.
Okay, so I think that's a unanimous vote. So thank you. Okay, moving on to old business. Mary Beth, I think you asked me to remind you about
Right.
when we get to this.
I have a couple of questions. I was looking at the website today for Snow Library. And Tavi, it seems like you're are going backwards to go forwards. Is a good time to update the information on the curbside pickup, because it says the new hours for curbside pickup on November 5th. They're no longer new, so I was hoping that could be updated. We talked about it, if it's not up to date, it's not people get upset. And then I had a very personal question, because I think that the book group that you have is terrific. Is there a way for the public to sign up for the book group online on the website and to reserve a book, or do you have to, is there a way you can do that?
Well, you have to email either Kaimi or I.
Okay, okay,
You have to email us, either one of us. And the
Okay.
reason is because we're doing it via Zoom. So
okay, all right.
we need to know who wants to attend, and then we send them the link. So that's why we're doing it that way, because otherwise, you know, if somebody can go online and reserve the book,
Yeah.
but if we don't know that and send them the link, then they won't be able to participate.
Okay, because it's the website is just great, and so many hot links on it. It just looks really good, and it's fun to look at. I just didn't know.
Right.
Thank you.
And we'll update the curbside sign. We were waiting to do it because we thought there might be some changes. So when we update with this new information, once I get approval from Town Administrator John Kelly, then we'll change all the information on there.
Perfect.
So Tavi, just remind me, when would the change go into effect?
So the
Assuming it's
plan.
approved?
Right, so assuming it's approved, the last day for open browsing would be this Thursday from 10 to 2. And Friday normally is curbside only. So instead of open browsing on Saturday, December 12th, we would then, so it would begin that day, really. So Thursday would be the last open browsing if it's approved.
I had, I think, an old business item that you will remember we discussed very briefly the news about the town investigating the Governor Prince property. And Kevin, you know, I emailed you after the meeting to ask about that. And I just wanted, since you're here and can, I think, share with all of us more directly just what the status of that is. And we don't own that property yet, right? Is that?
We do not. Nope. Happy to do so, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
So at town meeting in October, our Halloween event at Nauset Beach approved was a feasibility study that had public money from the town of $15,000 approved. And then separately, the Affordable Housing Trust approved their $15,000. The reason for the two pots to support a feasibility study is their funds can be dedicated to solely analysis relative to affordable housing, where because we wanted to consider any and all compatible uses, I think is the way it was worded, the town's funding of 15 supplements that. So the feasibility study, believe it or not, kicks off to, I get my days run together here, 4 o'clock this Thursday. So I'm not sure if Sarah is able to confirm if that's going to be over Channel 18 or a YouTube link, but that meeting is posted. We do have a facilitator who has really excellent experience in project development, particularly affordable housing and other uses. So Judy Barrett is the facilitator with Barrett Consulting Group. Just an awesome individual. She's a good listener. She has a lot of tools in her toolbox, knowing the regulatory side of things, but because she does serve, I believe, as a commissioner up in her own hometown. So feasibility kicks off this Thursday. We do have a short period of time to bring this through the support that we'll have to vote by March from a select board standpoint with input from the community, that we actually do want to then put this on the town meeting warrant in the spring to follow through with the purchase. On a separate note, I believe we're moving forward on a concurrent path in a favorable way with the owners to arrive at a price. That was another part of the letter of intent that not only required the feasibility study that will kick off this Thursday, but before we put too much town effort, staff and funds, we want to early in the process arrive at an agreeable purchase and sale price. And I believe we are almost there. So that's coming together very well. It's exciting. It really is. The collection of things we do want to evaluate do include appropriateness for a library space if that wants to be considered. So your input would really be good on that. There are other town needs that have been expressed relative to community center, perhaps an alternate or a way of looking at a fire station site. Personally, I don't think that's appropriate, and I've heard from the chief that he doesn't think that location is ideal to serve all parts of town. But those ideas being thrown out may generate even other ideas. So anything you guys would like to contribute to, whether it be this Thursday or as the process moves forward, there are teed up going to be multiple community input meetings, even in this short time frame. So I'll keep you folks posted.
So Kevin, you said this is being done under the auspices of the planning board?
No, this is select board led and Affordable Housing Trust. We're certainly inviting planning board, library, other community members to participate. But again, because it's such a short window, if we turn this into a larger facilitated process through planning board and others, I think we would run out of time. And I think we've got the bandwidth within the select board Affordable Housing Trust to get this done and also meet the objectives of maximizing community input.
Hey, it's Joan. Sorry, my Zoom stuff is still not working. So Kevin, do you want members from the teams to be there to just listen at this first meeting? Or do you think we should wait till upcoming meetings?
The more the merrier, Joan. I think if you're there, certainly hear it right from the get-go from George Meservey is going to introduce, what the scope, role, responsibilities are. It's a really ideal time, Joan, to get those questions asked in terms of when do you want us? Those even early involvements will be really helpful because it's always better to have heads up on things rather than wait and say, well, gee, if I knew. So please be there if you can.
Okay, thank you.
So Kevin, I was just quickly looking on the town site. I don't see any info on it, but I may not be looking at the right place. So if maybe you could send us in the next day the actual info or link to it, that would be great.
Will do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So as
One
many
question,
of-
Kevin, is this the email that came out that's just titled Select Board Joint Meeting with Affordable Housing Trust Fund?
That probably is the one. Let me confirm.
Okay, Steve, I could send it to you.
Maybe you could send it out to all of us, or if you
Yeah,
send
let
it to
me,
me,
I just let me make sure it's the right one.
Sure.
If it says 4 o'clock on Thursday, December 10th, that would be
Well,
it.
let me say, it just says, that's the only headline I get. And it's Thursday at 4 o'clock. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
got
you
it.
can find it under the, I think it's a Affordable Housing Committee. All of it's listed there, and it will be live on Channel 18.
Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome.
So not under Affordable House Trust Fund Board, under the committee.
Yeah, if you look on the town website and go to the calendar for 4 o'clock on Thursday. I'm just pulling it up myself.
Yeah, I see it. Okay.
I
Yeah.
just sent you the email, Steve, not everyone else, because I had your thing
Gotcha.
quickly.
Okay. Thank you,
Yeah, it's
Joan.
under Select Board, Affordable Housing Trust, and Affordable Housing Committee Joint Remote Meeting.
Right. As Sarah just shared with us, if you go to the calendar on the website and click on Thursday the 10th, you'll see it listed.
Okay.
Jan, did you have a
No,
question?
I wondered if you wanted, obviously, as many of us on there as can be. Yeah, okay,
Absolutely.
okay, great. So we just can voice that we want to be on it through the website?
I assume there must be a link
There
there
must,
that
okay,
it says via Zoom. So
okay.
Could Could Sarah send us out the link like we have for these meetings? Just include us in a connection link?
Yeah, do you want just like the public link or like a participant link?
Public, I think, for me.
Okay, yeah, I can send you guys out the public link so you all have it.
That'd be fine. Thank you.
Okay, great.
Sarah, it's Joan. Since I'm dual tasking here, can I share that public link with the rec committee?
Yeah, you can share, yeah, because it's a public link. It's right there on the town website for anybody in the public to join as a virtual attendee, basically.
Okay, great. I'll just tell them to go to the website then. Thanks.
Okay.
So Sarah, when you join as a public link, does that give you the option to actually give input?
If the committee, if the select board or one of the other committees, they provide a chance for public input, we just have people raise the participant hand
Right.
on the and then we allow them to talk.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Kevin.
Exciting. A lot going
It
on.
is exciting.
This is really good.
Any other old business that anyone would like to bring up?
Oh, hi, it's Joan again. I just want to give an update on the Storytime Trails. For the CPC submission, everything was approved to go in. The submissions are being looked at from the town lawyer. And once we hear back, then we'll proceed. There is interviews that take place between January and February where the team then goes ahead and presents the concept to the CPC. And I'm actually the project is now going to be run by someone else on the rec committee, Tracy Morgan, Morgan, who was one that had the idea, but I am actually going to be the liaison between the CPC and that project. So I'll let Ann know so that when we present in front of the committee, either Ann and Steve or Ann or Tavi could come to the meeting.
Thank you, Joan.
Thanks.
Other old business? Do we have any new business?
Just my vote, asking for a vote of the trustees to approve closing Snow Library on Saturday, December 26th, the day after Christmas, to provide the staff with an extra day for the holiday.
Thank you, Tavi. Any discussion? Not seeing any. All those in favor of approving Tavi's motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No opposed. Passes unanimously.
Mr. Chair,
Thank
just
you.
the knucklehead in me for whoever is taking minutes might want to know who made the motion and seconded it.
I'll make the motion. I
Thank you,
was thinking
Kevin.
that too.
Thanks, Jan.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
Okay, so Marie, you got all that, right?
Yes, thank you.
Any other new business? Okay, well, thank you all for your patience with today's meeting, and someone like to make a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Thank you, Mary. Second?
Yeah.
I think,
Everyone have a safe and happy, healthy holiday.
Yes.
Yes.
See you-
See you in January.
Safe,
See you
stay
all on
healthy.
Thursday. See you all
See you
on
Thursday.
Yeah, right,
Maybe
right.
Thursday. Yeah.
And
But this group, yeah.
Right.
yeah, and then
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
next year it can only be better.
Right.
Yeah.